everybody. Welcome to the next session of Attitudes Everything, where I'm interviewing business owners that refuse to basically roll over and just give in to this pandemic and the lockdown period that we're in. Today, we welcome Amalia from Family Business Place. So welcome, Amalia.
Thank you very much for having me, Dean.
How's things? All good?
Yeah, good. Absolutely sweltering, but I'm not going to moan.
It's a hot one, right?
It's warm, yeah.
So Amalia, can you just give everybody a bit of a, well, you know, I obviously know you pretty well, but and I've worked a bit with you in the past. So, you know, can you just give everybody a bit of an insight as to what you do there?
Sure. So Family Business Place is a nationwide membership for anyone who runs a family business. It does what it says on the tin, really. So we have 150 members all over the country, and they range from everything from, we've got a hotelier with 3,000 staff, we've got small husband and wife startups, we've got third generation families, and I've actually got a 26th generation butcher. So wow. A family business of any shape and size, any industry, any location. But the one thing they all have in common is that they're running a business with their family, or it's been passed down through the generations. And so we are here as a membership network to support them, to promote them, and to help them thrive, really.
Fantastic. But you know, so these businesses, we all know how tough a family business can be anyway, right? Being in business can be tough, massively rewarding, as we know, but it can also be tough. Being a family business can be even tougher, right?
A lot of people say to me, how on earth can you work with your family?
Exactly, yeah. And I've been in family businesses before, and I coach a number of family businesses. So, you know, it's a whole new dynamic on this, right?
Absolutely. But there are over 3 million family businesses in the UK. So it's not some niche part of the industry, really. It's, you know, there are millions and millions of them all around the country, just knuckling down, trying to build something for themselves and for their children to pass down.
Yeah, exactly that. So, I mean, and it's amazing that you've got all the different generations of family business as well. So that's awesome. So, I mean, you know, just so looking at this, you know, looking at the situation that we're in, and with your family businesses and in your own business as well. At what point did you really start to sit there and think, you know what, something's happening here, something's gonna have to change? Because none of us really predicted this was gonna. Well, when I say none of us really predicted, none of us predicted on the scale it was going to happen, right? So, when did you first start seeing signs of things that you're going to have to change what you do?
So it's an interesting one, because actually I took over. So I work with my mum. We're a second generation family business. And I took over as MD 2 years ago. And when I did, I looked at the business, and we were essentially an events company for our members. And I remember thinking back then, this isn't a business for the future as it is now. We need to change the way we do things, the way we deliver things, because it's just not sustainable, it's not scalable. So even pre-pandemic, I was thinking we need to make our business more future-proof, more robust. And so towards the end of last year, the end of 2019, we pivoted to deliver all of our content online, as well as at face-to-face events.
Right.
So, in a funny way, and I'd like to say it was a stroke of genius, but it was just sheer pure luck that we actually moved all of our membership onto an online membership portal. We started doing loads of filming online and videos online and interviews and delivering really good content that way. We run digital training courses online. And so that all happened in 2019. So when the signs of this pandemic started happening, and when, you know, Trump closed the borders to America, and we all started saying, oh, hold on a second, what's going on here? I actually felt secretly relieved that we'd already transitioned our business into an online business. And actually, for the last however million years it's been, 3 months, I think, it's been the making of us, because obviously in-person events have fallen off a cliff and they stopped overnight. So yeah, thank goodness that we actually had the foresight to think ahead.
And well, I think you've probably not doing yourself justice there by saying it's a stroke of luck, because, you know, you obviously, you know, all right, none of us saw this was coming, but you did look at your business model and say, you know what, you know, there are other things that we can improve on. There's different routes we can go down. We can tweak this business model, right, to make it more future-proof. Yeah. So,
and I think because I'm the next generation, and it's not necessarily for family businesses, this is any business, but if you're bringing in new young blood all the time who are not so scared of the tech, and they're a bit more savvy about how we're digesting content, how we want to learn, how we want to grow as business leaders. And I think if you can harness that in your business, that younger generation, and think, it's upward mentoring really. And it's like, okay, come on, what great ideas can we have to make sure that our business is future proof? You've got them there in your team somewhere. It's just that you need to pull them out. So I think as the next generation who are far more marketing savvy, digital savvy, and a bit more comfortable with tech, it was a really obvious thing for us to do. Had it been left to my mum, she would have carried on running events, which are fantastic, and we all miss them so much. But it needs to be future proof. And I think any business, whether you're bricks and mortar, whether you run a firm or you're a big corporate, you need to think about how people are going to behave in the future.
Yeah, I totally agree. And you guys, so you've even, you've taken it a step on again though, right? So you took a lot online and you were doing that, as you said, but I was lucky enough to be asked to talk to be a speaker on one of your events. I know you've got another one coming up very soon, right? So you've stepped it up a level again. So where did you find the motivation or the inspiration or, the energy to say, what, we're doing this, we are in a good position, but now we're going to push on even more?
I think as business leaders, when the shit really hits the fan, you don't have a choice but to just get up each morning and say, right, we're going to make some difficult decisions today. We're going to make some brave decisions. I've had a knot in my stomach for the last 12 weeks, I think, because you're just worried that what you're doing isn't going to pay off, or it's not going to work, or it's the wrong thing to do, or should you just play it safe? But actually, there's no entrepreneur in the world who's ever just played it safe. And I think you just have to take a punt. You have to stop looking around at what everyone else is doing. So that happens a lot. A lot of people say to me, yeah, but other people in our industry, well, that's great, but someone's got to have that first brilliant idea, and I've got a friend, he's got a really good analogy. There's this one bloke and he thinks, I want to get to that top of that mountain, and he's there and he's raving on his own and he's standing there dancing and raving, and everyone looks at him and thinks, what on earth is he doing? He's nuts, he's crazy. But then one other person gets to the top of that mountain and starts raving next to him. And all of a sudden people think, that first guy, he's a genius. Yeah. And I think as business owners, as business leaders, or as team leaders, as managers, you've got to be that first guy up there with that brilliant idea, and you've got to have the courage to do it. And you know what? If it backfires, it backfires. If no one died, we're all healthy, we're all safe, let's just give something a go. And I have another phrase that people laugh at me, but you don't have to get it right, you just have to get it going. If you think something's a good idea, don't wait till it's perfect, because someone else will come and do it first.
I couldn't agree more. I think that's fantastic saying, and it's something I try and talk to my clients about, the amount of clients that have these ideas, or they're doing certain things, they might be working on their branding or their marketing or whatever, and they leave it until it's never going to be perfect, right? We're never going to be 100% happy, because as business owners, we're perfectionists and we want it all, So you've just got to get it out there to market and start to learn with what you're doing as well, and I completely agree with that. So with regards to, your business, you mentioned there about the knots in your stomach, right, for the last 3 months, right? We've all been there. I know I'm human. Everybody says coaches are all, they're all gung-ho and that. But look, I'm a human being, right? So I've had highs and lows and everything in between in these last 3 months, let alone in business in general. So how have you dealt with it, and what sort of emotions have you felt in these last few months?
So I think that probably the number one overriding feeling was of responsibility, and I think that's probably the same for every single business owner out there. Whether you're a business and you franchise 300 pubs, or whether you're just a little butcher on the high street, you have a responsibility not only for your own livelihoods and for the mortgages that you pay, but for the well-being of your family and the safety of your customers. That responsibility, I think, it's really been brought into focus throughout this pandemic, and it's a huge weight on your shoulders, massive weight. And I think the government have been phenomenal with their support, and I think that's really helped, particularly small business owners and family business owners. Because people are it. When you run a business, all you've got are your people. So you've got to be responsible for them, but that can be quite overbearing sometimes. So I felt a lot of that, but then the government support came in. That's fantastic. I think it's quite hard when everyone's at home. So normally you would go to work and you would do your thing and you'd come home and everyone's had their day. But now that everyone's around, and I don't want to be the, hold a minute, I'll be there in a second. But I've also got to get a job done as well. So you've got a toddler running around, it's quite tough. So you don't want to be an absent parent, but you've still got a business to run, haven't you? So I've dealt with it by just going out and walking each evening. We've got a dog who's probably thinking, oh my God, not another bloody one. Because everyone's now on a health kick to get back into their work clothes. So I've been walking, 8-10K every night with the dog, just some peace and quiet, listening to some podcasts, bits and pieces, just thinking about ideas and stepping away from the whole we're in a pandemic thing, and thinking about, okay, so I still have a business, a lot of people don't. What am I going to do with it now? How am I going to move it forward? So getting some headspace and some just time alone and some breathing space away from the pressures of what's going on has been really important.
And still having fun with it?
Yeah, loving it.
Fun's key, right? I mean, everybody says about how stressful everything is, and it can be, but, we've all made a decision to go into business, and for me, it's got to be fun. The moment the fun stops, it's not the place for you to be. We might as well go and work for someone else. But
completely. And my mum has a phrase that, the two most important things in family business are love and joy. And actually, regardless of family business or not, you love people you work with, your colleagues, your suppliers, your customers, and you have to have joy. You have to want to go to work and smile, and that's why we all run our own businesses.
Yeah.
Because we didn't want to work for someone else. We wanted to do something that made us happy and that we were passionate about. So yeah, we've had some hairy moments, and I've absolutely been grabbing myself. But then when it's all done and dusted, you look back, you think, we did that. No one else did that for us. We did that.
Yeah.
And it's important to remember to have a bit of fun along the way.
Yeah, and it's a great feeling of self-worth, and there's a lot of gratitude out there within the community as well. And I know that what you guys do and the way you support the community that you've built is pretty phenomenal, right? And obviously, your energy and your positive attitude is infectious to everyone that is in your community, and that's clear to see. So, what's probably been your biggest win up to this point within these 3 months?
So I think this has actually made us think very differently. So I love our members to death, but this has really sharpened our focus on that is our sole purpose, actually. We did a bit of a rebrand a while ago, and we were looking at, our purpose and our mission, our values. And we had my sister did this lovely fancy graphic with members right at the heart of everything. And it was on a piece of paper, and it's like, yeah, we believe in that. And then this happens, and all of a sudden, all we are here to do is to serve our members. And I think if we can bring value to them, long term, they will bring value to us. And I think every business owner has to think like that. So you need to, if you can, avoid the short wins, and you need to think about how can I deliver value to my customers, because I need them to succeed. Because if they don't succeed, we don't succeed.
Yeah.
So if you can bring value to them, they will eventually bring value to us. And all I can hope is that at the end of all this, people say, thank goodness I was a member of Family Business Place.
Yeah. I mean, we've spoken about this before, right? And I often say to business owners, think about how you want to be remembered when we finally come out of all this. And I know we've talked about this, right? That where people look back and they'll say, wow, Family Business Place were absolutely phenomenal. They supported us all the way. They picked us up when we were down. They helped us make improvements when we were already good. All of those things. But it's about, there's a lot of business owners I'm speaking to in this series, are all of that, that mindset, right? They're doing everything they possibly can, all for the right reasons. And I'm a massive believer in paying things forward, and it will come back as well.
I think when you're up against it, like most of us have been, the first instinct is how can I make a sale?
Yeah. And
how can I chase down that lead? And I think you need to have the confidence in yourself, in your business, and in what you're doing, and in your mission and your purpose as a business. You need to have confidence in that enough that the sales will come.
Yeah.
Because you're absolutely right. People will remember how you treated them throughout all of this.
Yeah.
And we rang a member yesterday, and he's like, I am just bowled over that you even bothered to pick up the phone. Nobody else has. And that makes me really sad, because he's got an accountant, he's got a lawyer, he's probably got a tax advisor, he's probably got, he might have a coach, you could have an HR advisor, and we're the only people that picked up the phone.
Yeah.
That says a lot, doesn't it, about the ecosystem of a small business owner, really. So I tell this to everyone I say, I send thank you cards out, left, right and centre. Just thank you for that lovely chat on the phone, or thank you for a great coffee the other day, or thank you for paying your invoice on time. It doesn't take much. It's the price of a stamp. It doesn't take a lot.
It goes such a long way though, right?
Such a long way. And you don't know what battles each person is facing. So to get your thank you note or to get your phone call could come at the right moment in time when they're really struggling.
So talking about your clients, and I'm not asking you to come up with anyone in particular, but did you see a real roller coaster of emotion with those guys? So we've already said that you're a very positive person. You're realistic in that, but you're a very positive, energetic person. You must have some business owners in your community that that are totally different profile to you, that really literally went into sort of paralyzed, were paralyzed for the moment. That some people were just couldn't see the wood for the trees. Some people went into chaos. Some people went into denial mode, right? So, what sort of emotions did you see from your community?
Yeah, so I think there was an element of paralysis for all of us, to be perfectly honest. It doesn't matter how extrovert or positive or upbeat you are. When the world stopped spinning, which is what it did on the 23rd of March, we were all just paralysed for at least a few days, weren't we?
Yeah.
And I think, we've got some business owners who are like me, and they're big networkers and the face of the brand, and we've got others that are maybe more entrepreneurs, my mum calls them. So they're quietly working away in the background, but the thing I love about all of them is they're all very honest. That's what I love about people who run their own business. They're not afraid to show some sort of vulnerability. We have people. So I have two members who run care homes. One of them has had the most horrific time, has been completely let down and abandoned by a local authority. And he's got to somehow stay upbeat and positive to lead a team and to tell them it's all going to be okay.
Yeah.
I've got, a member who's got 40 odd hotels, 3,000 staff. That's about communication, isn't it? And one of my very, very first interviews of the family business way back when was a guy called Chris McNamara from the Brogue Trader. He had to shut down 10 shops. He went from selling £20,000 worth of shoes a day to £800 a day. And it's terrifying. Yeah. But I think then you have to step back and you have to think, okay, what are we going to do? But it's all right to say, I'm really, really struggling. We've all had days like that. And anyone who says they haven't is a liar.
I totally agree. So I always say about when people look back and say, oh, I never for one moment thought we would fail. We've all been through moments where you question. And I think that's quite healthy to question it. Don't let the self-limiting beliefs come in. But I think it's okay to question what you're doing and to really, you've got to dig deep, right? It's life.
Oh, like really deep. But also, hasn't it given us an amazing opportunity to look at our business? Yeah. It's all those people that have had to put together a business plan to get a CBILS loan or to get a grant, or there's people that have had to think, all right, I haven't had to do a bit of a cash flow forecast. Are we going to make it out? Are we going to be able to survive past the furlough support? So what a great opportunity to look at your business and think, oh my goodness, I didn't realise we were losing so much in that area. Or there's obviously huge opportunity for profit growth in that area. Yeah. And anyone that doesn't use this opportunity to make their business bigger and stronger and sharper than before has completely, wasted what we've got here.
Yeah, and I totally agree with that, and that's why I came out at the start of this and said, if anyone's going into hibernation, it's the worst thing you can possibly do. At least you should be building your presence online and you're, looking at your systems, your processes, your staff, your training, all of those things. But, let's not forget as well, there's a lot of industries and a lot of companies which have absolutely boomed off the back of this, right? And everybody straight away thinks, oh yeah, toilet rolls and PPE. But, there's a hell of a lot of other industries that we just wouldn't even think about that have
so I can think of two of our members. One is Brightley-Gillott here in beautiful Kent, right, who produce apples and cherries and all sorts of amazing fruit for the supermarkets, and they are desperate for workers and they're phenomenal. And then we've got Gibson's Games, who make jigsaws and puzzles, and of course their sales have gone through the roof.
Yeah, and who would have thought that, right? And that's the thing.
And Kate Gibson's like, this is beyond even Christmas sales. It's extraordinary. And I think some of the most savvy businesses are bringing back the marketing teams first. Yes. Because without marketing, you haven't got sales, and without sales, you can't bring back any manufacturing, any production, any operations. So, and a lot of family businesses, the family do the marketing. Yeah. So they're the ones, I think, invest in some really good marketing now. Take time to look at your digital and your online presence and your strategy moving forward, and make sure that it wasn't just a band-aid to get through the pandemic, because digital is here to stay. It's the way we are going to shop in the future, and you need to invest in that now.
Yeah, exactly. So that brings me on nicely, because I really wanted to ask you what you've been doing differently in your marketing, how you've had to really change it up to accommodate what's going on and to be seen in this marketplace at the moment.
Yeah, so it's all about communication, isn't it? So I think throughout all of this time, all of my emails end with, here's my direct line. If you need anyone to talk to, just give me a call. We've been sending out loads of really useful content for our members, nothing to do with family business, just like I thought you could really do with this article on furlough or whatever it might be, or here's how to access the CBILS, or but also I hope it comes across that we've tried to stay really upbeat and positive. So, you know, the 2 online summits we've done, Independence Day, which is all about the power of being an independent business.
Yep.
And the next one coming up, the reboot, how to build a stronger, sharper business for the future. Because there's enough doom and gloom out there. We all know it's doom and gloom. We don't need to be told over and over again. We're having it rammed down our throats, really. So, but wouldn't it be great if there was somewhere to turn to that's positive and upbeat and, okay, it's bad, but how are we going to get past it? So that's what we've tried to do with our marketing as well. And utilise a lot more video content. I've got a new show called The Family Business Show, which is sort of a through the keyhole of other family businesses. And just understanding what your customers want, what they need, how you're going to help them, and again, how you're going to deliver value to them without always thinking about, is there a sale here? Can I make a sale?
Yeah. And so, and I think that's absolutely key, right? It's empathetic marketing and selling at the moment, you know, and it's like you said right at the start, you know, when it's about doing the right thing, making sure the value is there, making sure the service, you know, that you've set that bar so high that why wouldn't people want to be a member of what you're doing?
Yeah.
And that's the whole point behind it, right? So, I mean, what would you say that you've learned about yourself during this time?
I like my own space.
Just don't get enough of it at the moment. Yeah.
What have I learned about myself? So I think I've learned that I don't need to be chained to my desk, that I can work effectively and I can manage effectively and we can grow effectively without physically having to be here 7 days a week. I think as business owners, we do not give ourselves a break. Yeah. And, you know, you don't have to be at your desk to prove that you're working. So what we've done is, so I take Fridays off with my son, and I do enough work Monday to Thursday, thank you very much. You know, I don't need to be here 7 days. So I've learned to give myself a bit of a break, to take some headspace. Those walks I do in the evening are like so valuable, so crucial. And they help me sleep better. It's better for my mental health. It gives me some time to think about growing the business. I've also learned a lot about people and our team and what they are willing to do. They're willing to go above and beyond. And sometimes it's not until you hit a pressure point that you find the best and the worst in people.
Yeah.
And we have a phenomenal team here. So I think I've just learned a lot about, I don't know, just give yourself a break and say it's okay and ask for other people's ideas rather than always having to be from the top down, worrying about, okay, I've got to come up with all the ideas or I've got to have a solution to this. It's like, well, let's regroup as a team and figure this out together, not one person's responsibility.
And that's going to help you going forward, right? Because look, we don't know whether there's a second wave coming. We don't know whether, if it's not this, it will be something else at some point in the life of our business. You know, we had a downturn in 2009 and stuff like that, but you know, nothing on this scale. It was, you know, economic wise, it was massive, but it wasn't a pandemic, so there wasn't the health side of it involved. But you know, we know the cycles of business. We're going to come back round to these challenges in some shape or form. So it's about making your business future-proof again. Pretty much what we spoke about right at the start of this interview, right?
Yeah, and in the 12 years of running Family Business Place, you know, before we ran Family Business Place, my mum had a marketing agency in London, you know, employed 15 people, turned over £1 million, lost it all to a rogue accountant. So my mum and dad had been bankrupt. We've nearly lost our house. You know, my husband, Nick, his parents died within 8 months of each other to cancer. We've started this business. We've grown. We've been through like a lot. And there are people out there who've been through phenomenal personal tragedy. And I think you have to look at it as a bigger picture. You know, we are only on this earth for 80 years, 90 if you're a woman probably. But we are only on this earth for a short period of time. So all the things that cause you pain and heartache and give you that knot in your stomach, you know, is it all worth it? Or can we now look at what we've got? You know, I've got my family, I've got my health, I'm alive. You know, I've got a phenomenal team, we've got a brilliant business and we smile every day, we have great fun. That's worth it to me. And I think sometimes you just have to step back and say, okay, I'm grateful, I'm thankful, or no, this is causing me real pain in my life. I need to ditch that now, you know, because we are only here for a short period of time. Make it count.
And you know what? I couldn't end it on any better note than that, to be honest, because I think, you know, I sort of wanted to sum it up by saying, you know, that, you know, I said earlier, your energy and your positivity and your, you know, the way you approach things is, you know, it's inspirational, right? And it's also, you know, it wears off on everybody around you. So, you know, I'm a massive fan of what you guys are doing at the Family Business Place. And, you know, I look forward to seeing you just going from strength to strength. And because of that, the amount of businesses and the family businesses that you're helping to be able to get for you to go from strength to strength, they have to go from strength to strength, right? Yeah. So it's a win all round. So it's fantastic what you guys are doing.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for your time, Amalia.
Thank you.